Psalm 43 is closely connected to Psalm 42, continuing the theme of longing for God's presence and deliverance. The psalmist begins by pleading with God to vindicate him against his enemies and to deliver him from their deceitful ways. He expresses his desire to be restored to God's presence and to worship him with joy. Despite feeling overwhelmed by his troubles, the psalmist affirms his trust in God's faithfulness and promises to praise him regardless of his circumstances. The psalmist reflects on his distress and feelings of abandonment by God. He describes how he has been oppressed by his enemies and asks God to defend him against their schemes. The psalmist acknowledges his need for God's help and asks him to send his light and truth to guide him through the darkness. He longs to return to God's presence and to experience his salvation and deliverance. In the midst of his distress, the psalmist encourages himself to hope in God. He reminds himself of God's faithfulness and steadfast love, affirming his trust that God will come to his aid. The psalmist resolves to continue praising God and trusting in his unfailing love, confident that he will answer his prayers and grant him victory over his enemies. The psalm concludes with a declaration of praise and thanksgiving to God. The psalmist affirms his trust in God's deliverance and expresses his gratitude for his mercy and provision. He resolves to continue praising God and trusting in his unfailing love, confident that he will answer his prayers and grant him victory over his enemies. Psalm 43 serves as a poignant expression of faith and trust in God's goodness and provision, inspiring readers to turn to him in times of trouble and to find strength and hope in his presence. Let's now read Psalms chapter 43. Judge me, O God, and plead my cause against an ungodly nation. O deliver me from the deceitful and unjust man. For thou art the God of my strength, why dost thou cast me off? Why go I mourning because of the oppression of the enemy? O send out thy light and thy truth, let them lead me, let them bring me unto thy holy hill, and to thy tabernacles. Then will I go unto the altar of God, unto God my exceeding joy, yea, upon the harp will I praise thee, O God my God. Why art thou cast down, O my soul? And why art thou disquieted within me? Hope in God, for I shall yet praise him, who is the health of my countenance, and my God. This ends our reading of Psalms chapter 43.